You know, contrary to popular belief, there are worse things than death in this world. Living with alcohol use disorder, living with alcoholism, and having a loved one who's going down this road is one of those things that's high on that list. Sometimes, if there's no quality of life, because this disorder, this disease can take everything away from the person, not just their finances, not just their relationships, but it takes away their sense of humanity. It takes away who they once were as a human being, and they're no longer that person. It creates another personification of what that person once was, a different element, and none of it's good. It's not a positive thing. It's very difficult to be around, and the way society deals with it, you know, on an uneducated level, on a reactionary level, on a level that's just misunderstood, as it's a very misunderstood disease, and so many people don't even understand it or have the ability to classify it as such. That's a big part of the problem. You have a person who's dealing with this disease, and then everybody is shaming that person because they just don't have an understanding or concept. Big part of this page is changing that mores and to bring this issue out of the closet and to expose it and to make it normalized to talk about this segment of mental health disease. And this is why awareness and communication is so important from family members to the alcoholic and their family. Make them aware of how you feel, how it's interrupting the relationship, how it's causing havoc in their life, their health, their relationships, and their productivity. Make them aware of that. Make it come from a place of love, not point fingers and be reactionary and angry and frustrated. That's not going to help you as a family member. It's definitely not going to help the person. It has to be conversational, and it has to be, look, we're concerned for you. You know, you've been drinking, you've got some DUIs, it's affecting your schooling, it's affecting your job, it's affecting our relationship. We are stressed out about it all the time. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're putting us through living hell, and we don't like it anymore. So there's going to be some changes. You're either going to get help or we can't be around it anymore, type of thing. It needs to be a productive conversation, not you did this and you did that and you did this and you did that, and angry and frustration, because that's just like punching somebody in the face emotionally, and you're not going to get the result that you want. So there has to be education on it. Talking about it, period, is something that's really, really going to help. So ultimately, what's important as a family member is to reach the alcoholic in your life before they get to the later stages, before they get to the point where they're gaslighting, they're deflective, and it's everybody else's fault. Okay, when they're in denial, the denial stage, that's a very tough stage. And be honest with you, the vast majority of people who do get to that stage, they're not going to make it. They are going to succumb to this disease because they don't even have the ability to come to the table and accept help, or to even recognize that they need help. They're too enraptured into the disease and into the addiction, and they'd rather stay in their comfort zone of drinking themselves into oblivion than they would in getting help and to change their life and to change their outlook, because the alcohol has taken over them physically, physiologically as well, and emotionally and psychologically. It's a very, very tough nut to crack. This is why you want to get to your loved one when you find bottles and cans underneath the couch, underneath the bed, in the backyard, when you notice they're drinking in isolation, when you notice that they're binge drinking and they're having episodes where they don't have an off switch and they don't have the ability to self-regulate. When you see these simple things happening, step in with everything you got, because it will lead down the road of a life I wouldn't wish upon anybody. And if you're interested in a real world story that would resonate with you and your family, this is my wife's memoir, obviously my memoir. It's called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's the story of my wife's 25-year decline with alcohol use disorder, every stage that we went through, and ultimately she succumbed to the disease. Horrible, horrible way to go. Wouldn't recommend it on anybody. Very traumatizing for family, obviously for Amanda herself. And again, I want to mention I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. We also have the Facebook group. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. Again, link is in my bio. You go to the link tree, and then you can join right to the Facebook group. Also, when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program. Set up a breakthrough call. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm looking for people who are committed to their sobriety. So you need the alcoholic on the call along with the family, and it's not for free information. It's really to set up and to be really focused towards getting help through the coaching program. The program takes 9 weeks. There's 2 elements: education and then one-on-one coaching with me, life coaching, and we set you up for a life of success. And again, call is free. Program's definitely not, but I'm looking for people who want to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.